Hello.
Hi.
Would you like to hear a story?
Sure. What is it?
Well, it's called the Parade of Ants.
Wow.
Yep, it's a pretty old tale. In fact,
Yes.
well, it's from the Hindu holy text that's called the Brahma Vaivarta Purana. That must be pretty old. Do you still want to hear it?
Sure. Yeah, of course.
Great. Well, sit back, relax, and let me tell you a story. And one more thing.
Yes. I put the story into modern times.
Oh.
And it takes place in New York City.
Ah, New York City. During the turbulent times, when the dragon was permitted to roam freely, the majestic buildings of the lofty city of New York had cracked and crumbled.
That must have been pretty tough on the people.
Yep. And the first act of Indra, the great head of New York, was to rebuild them. He summoned the greatest builder of them all, Vishwakarma, the city architect, and commanded him to erect such a city as would be worthy of such a wise leader.
That's cool. I'd love to see that.
So the miraculous genius, Vishwakarma, succeeded in constructing in a single year a shining city with glass buildings and subway systems and parks and lakes and statues and towers and tremendous works of art. But as the work progressed, the demands of Indra became even more exacting, and his unfolding visions vaster. He required additional terraces, more ponds and parks and museums. In fact, whenever Indra arrived to appraise the work, he developed visions beyond visions of new and more complicated marvels. Presently, poor old, now completely exhausted Vishwakarma was brought to despair and decided to go to Indra's boss to seek help from above. He needed help.
It's a good idea.
And so he turned to Brahma, the demiurgic creator, the pristine embodiment of the universal spirit,
Pristine.
who does not live in New York City, but lives way, way up in the Poconos Mountains,
Oh, man.
far above the Olympian sphere of strife and ambition and glory.
I hate that stuff.
When Vishwakarma secretly resorted to the higher boss and presented his case, Brahma comforted the petitioner, saying, "Don't you worry, you will soon be relieved of your burden. Go home in peace." Then, while Vishwakarma was Hurrying down to the city,
Yeah.
Brahma himself ascended to a still higher sphere upon Kistler Ledge, up in Monroe County. He came before Vishnu, the Supreme Being, of whom he himself, the Creator, was but an agent.
Just an agent.
In silence, Vishnu listened and let it be known, with a mere nod of the head, that the request of Vishwakarman had been granted. So that's the first part.
Indeed.
Yes. And now the second part, which takes place back in New York City, with the arrival of a mysterious young boy. Early next morning, a boy appeared at the entry to Indra's uptown office building, commanding the doorman to announce his visit to the boss. The doorman contacted Indra, who felt compelled to hurry to the entrance to welcome in person such an auspicious guest. The boy was slender, some 10 years old, radiant with the luster of wisdom. Indra discovered him amidst a cluster of enraptured, starving children. Bringing the boy into the office suite, the wise Indra began asking him questions. O venerable boy, tell me the purpose of your coming.
Yes, yes.
O King of New York, and of all gods, I have heard of the mighty city you are building, and have come to refer to you the questions in my mind. How many years will it require to complete this rich and extensive rebuilding? What further feats of engineering will Vishwakarman be expected to accomplish? O highest of gods, no Indra before you has ever succeeded in completing such a task as yours is to be.
Well, this kid's pretty smart.
Yes. And so Indra said, tell me, child, are there then so many Indras and Vishwakarmans whom you have seen,
Right.
or at least you have heard of? Yes, O King of New York. Many have I seen. I knew your father, Kashyapa, the old tortoise man, lord and progenitor of all the creatures of earth. And I knew your grandfather, Marichi, beam of celestial light, who is the son of Brahma.
Beam of celestial light.
And I know Brahma, brought forth by Vishnu from the lotus calyx growing from Vishnu's navel. And Vishnu himself,
Yes.
the Supreme Being, supporting Brahma in this creative endeavor, him I know. O King of Gods, I have known the dreadful dissolution of the universe. I have seen all perish again and again at the end of every cycle. At that terrible time, every single atom dissolves into the primal, pure waters of eternity, from which originally all arose. Everything then goes back into the fathomless, wild infinity of the ocean, which is covered with utter darkness and is empty of every sign of animate being. Ah, who will count the universes that have passed away, or the creations that have risen afresh again and again from the formless abyss of the vast waters? Who will number the passing ages of the world as they follow each other endlessly? And who will search through the wide infinities of space to count the universes side by side, each containing its Brahma, its Vishnu, its Shiva? Who will count the Indras, those Indras side by side, who reign at once in all those innumerable worlds, those others who have passed away before them, and even the Indras who succeed each other in any given line, ascending to godly kingship, one by one, and one by one passing away. King of Gods, there are those among your servants who maintain that it's possible to number the grains of sand on earth or the drops of rain that fall from the sky.
That's impossible.
But no one will ever number all those Indras. This is what the knowers know. Now something strange happens. The boy is transfixed by something on the floor. A procession of ants has made its appearance in the hall. In military array, the column of ants is 4 yards wide. The boy laughs. Indra is shaken.
I wonder why.
Why do you laugh? Who are you, mysterious being, under the deceiving guise of a boy? Who are you, oceans of virtue, enshrouded in deluding mist? I laughed because of the ants. The reason is not to be told. Do not ask me to disclose it. The seeds of woe and the fruits of wisdom are enclosed within its secret. It is the secret that smites with an axe. This secret is a lamp to those groping in ignorance.
It's me.
The secret lies buried in the wisdom of the ages and is rarely revealed, even to the saints. this secret
Yeah.
is the living air of those ascetics who renounce and transcend mortal existence. But worldlings, deluded by desire and pride, it destroys. Indra is still shaken and asks, "Why do you laugh? Who are you, mysterious being, under this deceiving guise of a boy? Who are you, oceans of virtue, enshrouded in deluding mist? Reveal to me this secret of the ages, this light that dispels the dark." "I saw the ants, O Indra, filing in long parade. Each ant was once an Indra, like you, each by virtue of pious deeds once ascended to the rank of the king of gods. But now, through many rebirths, each has become again an ant. This army is an army of former Indras. It is by deeds that one merits happiness or unhappiness. This is the whole substance of the secret. This wisdom is the ferry to beatitude across the ocean of hell. Life, in the cycle of countless rebirths, is like a vision in a dream. The gods on high, the mute trees, and the stones are alike apparitions in this fantasy. But death was hired by time to administer the laws of time, and appointed by time to be the boss of us all. Perishable as bubbles are the good and the evil of the beings in the dream. In unending cycles, the good and evil alternate.
Yes.
Therefore the wise are attached to neither the good
Yes.
nor the evil.
Yes.
The wise are not attached to anything at all.
No. That makes sense.
And now, another strange event happens. A holy man appears and sits on the floor in between Indra and the boy. And the boy and the holy man begin discussing the nature of the universe. And then, holy man disappears.
He's gone.
It had been the god Shiva.
Shiva. Oh,
Next, the boy disappeared.
he's gone.
It had been Vishnu. The king was alone, baffled and amazed. Indra pondered, and the events seemed to him to have been a dream. He no longer felt any desire to magnify his heavenly city or to go on with the constant construction. He summoned Vishwakarma, graciously greeting the craftsman and his workers with a sumptuous celebration.
Nice.
And then he sent them home to their families and loved
Oh,
ones
good.
from whom they had been away a long, long time.
Yeah.
So that's the story.
It's a good one.
Thanks.
Yeah. Vedic text, huh?
Yep.